So welcome back to Outdoors with the Morgans. It is first thing in the morning, about 6:30, and we are headed over to Tom's place from Concrete with the Hosses to check out a new tool that he's going to try out.
They don't have to be bigger, they just have to be high pull. Yeah, they won't change that. It's the same.
So what do you think of the pumper?
It was a lot of work.
The hose?
The hose, there's a learning curve, right? So
You could see though in 10 minutes how it got faster.
It got better.
Yeah, but yeah.
And then, well, we're on cleanup now, so we know what we're dealing with our buggies. You know, just squirt them out and
yeah.
You know, but this, if you don't service it right, now next time you use it,
oh yeah,
you know, it's just not going to work. So
right,
cleaning all the hose. If you can suck it back with the ball and sponge, then they're done. But these, we ended up, it wouldn't draw it back. I think the concrete was too tight; it wouldn't pull it back.
Yeah.
So now we got to clean all the hose out.
Right. Yeah. A nice test though.
Yeah, yeah. I'd be a little bit nervous, like going out with it on a job by myself. So I wouldn't.
A hose is heavy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, so I just got back from Tom's job. I was checking out that concrete pumper on his skid loader. The way that happened is this. I was talking to Tom over the weekend. He said he was going to demo that machine this morning. It was only 10 minutes from here. I said I'll run over and check it out. But it's pretty cool. It costs about $55,000, which is pretty expensive. But if you can't get a concrete truck where the concrete goes, and you can't get your buggies there or something, it might not be a bad option. You'll have to watch Tom's channel to see more on that. That's Concrete with the Hosses. But anyway, right now, I got some guys coming over, and we're going to learn a lot more about the 860i AVANT. All right, so we have Mark here, and what is your position with AVANT, Mark?
I'm what they call a product specialist. I work for the factory, and I travel the Northeast for AVANT, helping the dealers out and doing demos and doing trade shows and stuff like that.
So Mark saw our video the other day, and he wanted to stop down, which is great because I had a lot of questions. How many things was I wrong about in the first video?
Not too many. You did a really good job. You did your study, and the one switch that you thought might have been the boom float is actually our ride cushion.
Explain what ride cushion is.
So if you have a heavy load on the front of your machine and you're going over rough ground, it's just going to put a cushion into that cylinder hydraulically to help you're bouncing around and stuff.
So this has, then, just to clarify, this has not auto up. What am I? Auto level up.
Auto level, yeah.
And auto level down.
Correct.
Now, can you disengage that?
So you can override that with the joystick as you're going up or down.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's got float.
Yep.
It's got, okay.
Yeah, so float, you would just, to do the boom float, you just push the joystick all the way forward and it stays.
Okay.
And so that is an option. So if your machine does not stay forward, it does not have boom float.
Gotcha.
So we have multiple options for all of our machines. We have cab units and also open station units.
It was funny reading through the comments. A lot of people said things, it could use one of these, and I looked and you have them, like a hitch on the back.
Yes.
And you have a hydraulic hitch that will go up and down, right?
Yeah, that'll go up and down. We also, so we do offer rear hydraulics. Like, again, that's another option. We have drop spreaders for sand or snow, ice melt, that you can actually drop there's a spreader on the back that you can actually drop that down hydraulically back into your pile and lift that up.
Okay.
And not have to fill with bags. So
let's back up a minute. So how did this all come to be? How did this all start?
So AVANT was developed about 33 years ago they're still manufactured in Finland. The owner he was a dairy farmer, needed something small and compact to get in and scoop manure. And other jobs too, lifting hay, whatever. So he developed a machine that he rode on and articulated. And that's where the articulations, he kept that in all the machines that are developed today. But now, he started out with that one little machine. Now we have 7 different series with 16 different model of machines, depending on the size you need to lift with. But so he developed that company 33 years ago and is still running that company today with his son as CEO now.
Any idea how many machines are out there?
Oh, quite a few now that we're in multiple different countries. So
when did you come to the U.S.?
So 12 years ago, they came to the U.S. and we're based out of Chicago. But then we have territory people that travel and help our dealer network. Like I said, there's dealerships all over the United States, but started more in the Northeast for the timber guys, tree guys, and then has just branched out from there.
Yeah.
We're in the midst of developing more dealers, we started it mainly in guys buying them for the tree service.
That's what I was saying. I said, obviously they're a great machine for that, getting in and out of people's yards, but with all the attachments you have, there's so many other types of industry that use these.
Right, yeah, we have not pigeonholed ourselves with that. We branched out and we're in golf courses, landscaping. Municipalities are starting to buy them a lot more.
How are they? Here's a question for you. What's the best tire for snow removal?
Myself and anybody that's using them in snow like the turf, because there's more surface on the ground. Yeah. And there's more surface pressure on the ground than where the tractor tires seem to slip a little bit more, and they're actually a little more aggressive too. So you might damage some. Yeah.
That's the same way it is with skid loaders or tractors. For some reason, this type of tire does better in snow. I was just curious if it was the same on one of these.
No, turf tires are pretty much. And we do offer a chain option too, but very seldomly I've seen people use those. We've sold some up into Canada. For snow removal. One company bought 34 of them and have V-plows, snow plows. They have brooms and snow blowers, and that's all they use is turf tires. And,
really?
And they've used them successfully. So
34 one company.
34 in one company. The contractor for Hamilton, Ontario bought those. So, yeah.
That'd be a big check to write, right?
Yeah, sure would. I wouldn't want to write it.
No doubt.
But yeah.
So what'd you bring out here today to try out?
So I brought out a 4-in-1 bucket. It's just a very universal bucket. We can get it smooth front or with teeth. This bucket you can lift up, and it acts as like a snow plow. So it splits here, and we'll lift up straight up so it's out of the way, and you can use it as a snow plow, dirt plow, gravel plow. You can level with it. You can scoop, go over a pile
and pull back.
Pull back and scoop it. Like I said, what they call it 4-1. We have these grooves here, so you can actually lift up logs with it too.
Right, like a clam bucket.
Yeah, like a clam bucket.
You could probably spread stone with it, open it up a little bit, and put a layer.
Yeah, and then just drive forward and spread your stone rather than back dragging.
Another question that kept coming up was, will skid steer attachments fit on it?
Absolutely. So we have a skid steer plate that we are a proprietary attachments for our machine, but we can adapt to other people's attachments too. Skid steer, mini dingo, mini skids, most attachments out there, we can adapt our machine to those attachments. So if you have a load of skid steer attachments and you don't want to start buying more attachments, here's your fit. We take that skid steer plate and where did that hydraulics go?
Right there.
Oh, there it is. And then we sell this block, which goes onto our quick attach, and then you put your flat face couplers on it and just hook into your skid steer attachments. So very easy, very simple, and yeah.
I'm going to try it out with the, I have a firewood bucket.
There you go.
It's kind of like a rock bucket, skeleton bucket, you know what I mean, that will work with that. Let's go over and look at the timber grab. So I was using this one.
Yep.
And you just brought this one.
Yeah, so this is our standard with a hydraulic rotation, and this is our heavy duty with a hydraulic rotation. This will go onto the 700 and 800 series units. We don't recommend them for lighter, smaller units because this is a heavy unit, and by the time you put this on and then try and pick up a log, you're probably overextending the lifting capacity.
Right.
But
so this one will work on it. It's just designed for the smaller ones.
Correct. We're just afraid that if you use that a lot and don't watch what you're doing on a larger machine, 700 or 800 series, you may bust this, because if you're trying to pick up a log that size, we'd rather have you using the heavy duty. It's not going to break.
Right. So, these are really handy.
So the capacity on that machine is a lot lower than what the capacity will lift on the 800.
I'll be honest, I look into things and I research stuff, and I never thought I had much use for that, but I'm clearing a road back there, and I have a big clearing in the woods, and when you want to get whole trees out, you can't do it with a grapple.
And I'm sure you've seen in our catalog, we have well over 220 attachments now. Pretty much anything you need to work, to get your work done, we're going to have it. We have wood chippers. We have backhoe attachments for the front. So you can dig, You run that from in the cab? You can. So there's multiple options. You can run it with joysticks from the cab. We have a remote control backhoe, so you can stand outside the cab or sit in the cab and use the remote control. That
remote control would be nice outside if you're digging around something.
Cemeteries, because they're staying in one location to remove the dirt. And so you can actually stand over the hole you're digging and see, say a plumber has to dig up a line, and he wants to make sure he's watching and finding that pipe without breaking it. It's convenient to do that with.
What's this on top of the timber grab?
So this is what we call the arbor's kit. That will either push on a tree, push on a log, and then the arborists are magic with ropes, and they use this part to pull their trees and.
Gotcha.
And then a lot of times they'll have a climber for cutting trees, and they can bring the limbs down that he cuts slowly with ropes and stuff on this part of the arborist kit. That is standard with the hydraulic or the heavy duty attachment, and an option for the standard equipment.
Gotcha. So in the video that I did on this, I mentioned that this obviously articulates, but it does not oscillate.
So it does, so it's oscillation. It does not oscillate. AVANT found that they could keep the center gravity low, and a very thick and stable frame, rigid frame, to keep that stability of that machine. Some of our competitors do oscillate, but I believe that they're a little bit tippier than our machines.
This feels incredibly stable for,
Yes.
especially for a wheel loader. You just don't picture that, but like going out the trail there carrying, it wasn't heavy, 1,600 pound firewood basket or something. It was, you can feel a machine in your butt if it's not stable, and this felt very good. You
absolutely, and all of our size machines are that way, just from the engineering that they put into this machine, keeping it low profile machine.
Well, you figure you got the frame down low, you got the engine sitting back there, your pumps, we got a lot of weight down low.
And we also put a full steel removable brackets, or not brackets, but removable
like a skid plate?
Skid plates underneath. They are removable to get service done and stuff. But that way, especially for like your application, you're out here in the woods, you're not putting sticks up through hydraulic hoses and stuff like that too.
Right.
So very stable, very stout. Not gonna damage things while you're out in the woods.
How fast will this one go down the road?
So this one is right around 18 mile an hour at the high speed. And that is mainly for road transportation. You're not going to want to take that across the field. It'll get a little rough on you.
Yeah.
And then about 9 mile an hour top speed on the turtle gear. So yeah, it's a pretty quick machine. Depending on the size, that goes down as your like I said, this is our biggest machine. 57 horse, and then as you come down in sizes, that just reduces the speed that they have.
Was I right on that? 5,600 pounds about, give or take? That this
yeah, 5,600 pounds, depending on a cab unit or open station. But yeah, you're right on the money there. And it'll lift around 4,000 pounds at 15 inches. Okay. Maybe a little bit more, a little bit less, depending on the application. But at 15, that's at 15 inches. So if you do want to get load a semi or something, we do offer rear weights we can put on the back of these.
Like suitcase weights go on there?
Yeah, like suitcase weights for a tractor, and I can show you those in a second here. But you place them on the back on a bracket, and then you can bolt them on so they stay there. If you feel that your back end's a little tippy and you think you need more weight on the back, and it's still lifted hydraulically, go ahead and throw some of those weights on.
Right. Okay.
So these are our suitcase weights. We have the bracket already there. Just place it down. We can put up to 3 in the back, and then there's a hole for a long bolt to go in to keep them mounted on the machine.
Right. So this has enough lift. With enough weight on the front, it would pick the back of the machine up.
It can, yes. We've different size paver pallets and stuff at landscaping companies that sell pavers and stuff. They've needed to go to the rear weights.
Okay.
Yes. Some of the heavier hay bales, this would most likely handle it, but some of the really big ones out west and stuff, they might need to put rear weights on it.
So I did not know what that was for until the machine was delivered. You want to show them what that's for?
Yeah, so AVANT came up with the idea that to hook them onto the trailer, just take our chain, hook that over that, DOT approved, and go to the side rails of your trailer.
4 points, perfect.
Yep, and Highway Equipment orders all of their machines in like that. So if they have a machine, it's going to have those tie-down points on them. So there are also tie-down points on the frame, but that's nice and convenient.
How long do you think the boom, like before anything, like?
Well, we've gone as far as saying that without a catastrophic event or abuse, we're looking at about 15,000 hours on the engine as well as the boom.
Okay.
Now, those can be broken if you overdo it and overabuse them, but they do last a long time.
Yeah.
With care. We want you to grease the machine, especially the articulation and the boom, because those are the most wear points there are on the machines.
Right.
Because they're the most moving parts. You want to keep that articulation joint greased, and you won't have problems with it until things do wear out. Metal does wear out, but yeah, there's multiple grease fittings. Those are all in the owner's manual to find, and just keep everything greased once a week, and you should be good.
One thing we didn't touch on that I noticed, it just sips the fuel.
It does. So all of our units are around half a gallon of fuel an hour. versus, now we don't compare ourselves to a skid steer because this is not a skid steer, but a skid steer is going to be anywhere from 2 to 4 depending on the size of the skid steer. Tire wear also, since we're not skidding these tires, they last a long time. If you have a wheeled machine skid steer, you're probably going to replace 2 to 3 sets versus our 1 set. So, so maintenance is a big thing. So say if you are a tree guy, which is our #1 industry net right now, but that's not our only industry. The tree guys used to have to take mats. If they had a skid machine, whether it be a mini skid or a large skid steer, they'd have to take mats. So somebody would have to load those mats. You have trailer space that you're taking up with those mats. You put them down in the yard, you still have to take them back up. Where this machine, you get into a backyard or on a golf course. We have multiple different golf courses. You're not going to tear up that turf.
Yeah.
So
the engine in this 57 horsepower Kohler. 57
horsepower Kohler. We do offer in some of our smaller machines. We offer 24, 25, 44 horsepower Kubota engines also. We stay with 2 manufacturers because we're making so many now that we
have to keep that
supply coming.
Right. Anything we're missing?
Yes. So we do offer an option also for the tree industry seems to like to buy them a lot. We will take any panel we want, or you want to, but the front 3 panels is most likely for a tree service. We coat it with a truck bed lining. I don't like to say Line-X because we're not using their brand, but we do a truck coat lining inside and out, multiple coats, so it really makes that plastic rigid, and will take a real good hit from a limb or a tree that could just drop down and not crack your plastic.
You want to notice when you're using that timber grab, you got to pay attention.
Yes, you do.
And you don't want to grab anything tree related. Right. You can tear stuff up.
Yeah, you can. I mean, if it's sticking out past that the teeth there that hold the back side of the log,
and you rotate it.
You're gonna come up against the cab. You could come up against the glass. You want to keep an eye on that log or whatever you have out in front of you, just to make sure when it swings or when you back up, it's not going to swing into your machine.
And the other thing,
or anybody around you.
Open that door all the way up.
Yes.
It articulates so much that back end will hit the door, right?
You want to make sure your door is closed. Yes, because you can shatter the glass if you hit that with your wheels. Also, another nice feature, if our cabs come with the option of having air conditioning or not having air conditioning. All of our cabs from 600 units, 600 series up, come with heat. But the option to have air is there. But if you don't want air, if you're not going to spend the money for air, these doors just lift up off just like a Jeep door would. And there's no wires to unhook or anything. The door comes off and the window comes off, so you can have air during the summertime.
Right.
It does have a cabin filter, so when you're in there, if you're running dusty dirt out in front of you, it's going to keep that dust and dirt out of the cabin. So I did notice on your description the other day that you thought that switch was the boom float, but actually that switch is going to be your ride cushion, and I explained that earlier. But the boom float, you'll push that lift forward, or that joystick forward, and that's what's going to let that boom float. Yep. If you have a broom out in front of you and you just want it to ride the ground, it's gonna keep it down there, and then just pull it back into standard mode. This red lever under here, we have 3 different three different ways this machine drives hydraulically. The standard mode, your opposite wheels. Then when you turn, it goes so we're always free spinning 2 wheels. That's how we're not tearing up turf. There's a switch here that has a bunch of wheels on it. You throw that up, it's locking that from side to side. And then when you take and hold in this red button underneath the joystick, that's putting into what we call anti-slip, which is momentary all-wheel drive. When you let go, it goes back to the mode that you have it locked into.
Gotcha.
So this unit comes with 2 pumps. So if you have a attachment, all of our attachments have a little silver plate on them that tell you the optimal hydraulic flow that you want to be running. We're set up in liters per minute on this, and on our tags it shows the liters per minute it runs at optimal capacity. If you aren't getting to that and you have your throttle all the way up, you want to flip that switch and adjust your throttle to the that puts it into a second pump that just gives it more flow to the attachment. So the Avants are not a high flow machine. They run at our largest one runs at about 21.7 gallons per minute, in that neighborhood. And but all of our attachments that we're running on, that we make, run more under pressure than they do flow. So they are engineered for our machines. Now, if you do go to a skid steer machine, you just need to make sure the flow is going to match up with the machine you're running at.
Right.
And in our catalog or on our website, all the specs for the machines are there. Lifting capacity, the weight of the machine. It's a very convenient book and website to get around.
Yeah, it's a real nice book to check out.
Well, what's nice about our machines is you don't need a CDL to haul them.
Yeah, that's a big thing with me. I'm still kicking myself for not getting one when you could get a CDL easily, but this and even like that timber grab easily on a 10,000 pound trailer.
Absolutely, yeah. 3/4 ton truck. Some of our smaller machines, I wouldn't even worry about a 1/2 ton truck, but yeah, you don't have to worry about capacity of while you're towing it.
So what do you like to do besides talk about Avant?
Oh, I love hunting, love fishing, and I'm a hobby metal detector too. So
You ever find anything good?
I found an old medal from Army. Somebody who was in the Army. It was a marksman's medal.
Really?
Yeah. It was in the ground, all silver, and it was kind of a neat little thing. And I found some old coins and old spectacle buckles and stuff. So
Very
it's
cool.
Kind of fun.
Well, I appreciate all the information. I do. I'm a little more up to speed on these things.
Yeah, and if anybody wants to get a hold of us or get some more information on it, just go to AVANTtechnousa.com and you can type in a request of whatever you'd like to learn about. So,
sounds good, man. Well, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you. All right, so tomorrow I'm going to try out the 4-in-1 bucket on the Avant and the HD timber grab if it doesn't rain. I'm not sure what it's going to do. We'll have to see. But anyway, I think that's about it for today's video. I appreciate y'all being here, and I will catch you on the next one.